Welcome to Hog Hype. I'm Cierra Clark alongside Locked On Razorbacks podcast host John Nabors. John, the Razorbacks are 1-0. They defeated Cincinnati last week, and now they'll take on South Carolina, a team who beat Georgia State in their season opener 35-14. But I mean, that win looks like it was a beatdown on paper, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not too confident about South Carolina and them coming into Fayetteville, and I think it's more about how good Arkansas is looking. I mean, you beat Cincinnati. It's great to get that game out of the way because you saw how tough they were. I'm not saying any disrespect towards South Carolina, but I think this is going to be an easier matchup for Arkansas. I think that the Razorbacks, especially defensively, are going to cause some problems for Spencer Rattler. I think he's a little overrated personally, but I think this is a really good matchup, and I'm glad it's in Fayetteville, and I think Arkansas really has the edge here.
And head coach Sam Pittman, when he was at Georgia on the offensive line coach, he was actually on the staff with South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer, and Beamer was the special teams coach. And so now they're going up against each other, and Beamer's pretty strong-minded on the special teams front. So talk about the strengths that the Gamecocks have on that.
Yeah, special teams is always going to be Beamer ball. I mean, that's something Shane Beamer learned from Coach Beamer up at Virginia Tech. That's something that Arkansas is going to have to make sure, because we talk about offense and defense all the time, which is important. But special teams can be crucial. Arkansas struggled with special teams at times last year, but it got better. It looked pretty solid special teams-wise on Saturday. So they're going to have to make sure that they're sharp at that position, because it's one thing to have scores and touchdowns and punts and 3-and-outs and all that, but there's not a big swing in momentum like a special teams turnover. So they're going to have to make sure they're really sharp in that point.
Yeah, South Carolina blocked 2 punts, so definitely something for the Razorbacks to look out for. And now another thing to look out for is injuries. Can you update us on that?
Yeah, there's no updates on the big ones of Jalen Catalon and Miles Slusher. Now, I guess the positive is that it doesn't seem like it's season-ending, because if it was, you feel like Sam Pittman would say they were season-ending injuries. We just don't really know. I would be surprised if either of them played this weekend. But I still have a lot of confidence that they'll be back at some point in time this year.
All right, well, good to know, and hopefully keep our heads up for those players to come back nice and strong. All right, well, that'll do it for Hog Hype, and the Hogs will take on the Gamecocks at 11 a.m., bright and early in Fayetteville, and that game will be on ESPN on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And of course, after the game at 10:35 p.m., we will have our Hog Zone show where we'll break that game down, so you don't want to miss that either. For John Nabors and Cierra Clark, that's Hog Hype.